too. He'll go ahead and take it.
You're watching Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram High School Hoops, presented by New South Window Solutions.
And welcome to Fort Walton Beach High School. We tip off another season of high school hoops, Hill Kelly High School Hoops, with a top 5 state matchup, a girls game between the second-ranked Pine Forest Eagles and the 5th-ranked Fort Walton Beach Vikings. Hi, Dan Shugart along with Jeff Price. We're delighted to bring you this, the first of our 6 high school hoops broadcasts here over the next month or so, right here on WFGX. Jeff, first of all, looking forward to working with you. We have a terrific matchup tonight. 2 teams with a combined record of 14-1, and the one loss has been Fort Walton Beach, lost at Pine Forest by 2 points. 2 teams in the top 5. The first meeting was a great matchup. We expect the same tonight.
Yeah, back and forth matchup. Madison Sayoli scores with 30 seconds left to put them up. Fort Walton's excited, as they should be, on the road in Pensacola. And guess what? Lil Mama Purifoy comes in and scores a bucket down low with 1 second left. The rest is history. But for Fort Walton Beach, they said, that was in 2020. This is 2021.
It is 2021, and just mentioned 2 of the players will be watching you. You can't take your eyes off Tanija Little Mama Purifoy, number 10 for Pine Forest. She's a junior. Seems like she's been there forever. She's been a leader of this team since she stepped on the court as a freshman. She is the clear leader for the Eagles. Meanwhile, you have Samantha Shearer, wears number 13 for Fort Walton Beach, averages 17 points a game, and she is a clear leader over there.
Yeah, 2-time player of the year, all-around athlete. Softball, it doesn't matter. Give her a ball, give her a stick, whatever she needs, she's going to go out and she's going to be amazing. She's the catalyst for this Fort Walton Beach team. And I tell you what, this is going to be a fun matchup because you know revenge is on the minds for Fort Walton Beach. All
right, 2 top 5 teams in the state. Pine Forest ranked 2nd in the state in 5A. Fort Walton Beach ranked 5th. We think we're going to have a matchup worthy of the rankings. It's Fort Walton Beach and Pine Forest. Tip-off coming right up. All right, we're just about ready to get going here. Pine Forest and Fort Walton Beach. And Pine Forest to put the ball in play to get things started. And our first broadcast of the year, Hill Kelly High School Hoops, here from Fort Walton Beach. Pine Forest in the road blue with the red trim. We'll set the starting lineups for you in just a moment. Fort Walton Beach opens in the zone, 1-3-1 zone. They'll play a little 2-3, three-pointer. Delivered by Little Mama Purifoy.
Right on cue right there.
Driving Marissa Brown loses the handle, has it taken away. Looked like Janiah Perry might have gotten a hand on it. So Pine Forest, the three-pointer to get things started, then a defensive steal. Purifoy, number 10, out front for Pine Forest. That's Macavia House, number 21. She was a key reserve a year ago, now a starter. Danielle Lucky inside and gets the roll on the baseline jumper. And just like that, Pine Forest off to a 5-0 lead.
You gotta like the ball movement, seeing Pine Forest mix it around right there with that zone defense.
That is Sam Shearer, 13. Nice look, nice pass inside, but blocked by Lucky on the shot by Sayuli. So another defensive play, a steal, then a blocked shot. So Pine Forest with 2 big defensive plays. That was a key. Chris Godwin, Pine Forest coach, had a key, was really doing the job defensively. Long rebound. Comes off to Shearer, and she goes coast to coast. So the first points of the night for Fort Walton Beach belong to Sam Shearer. That's really no surprise. She averages 17.
Yeah, expect to hear her name a whole lot tonight.
In front, that was Perry. 3-pointers on the way from House, and that's off the mark. Chased down in the corner, though, by Pine Forest. And down low and tied up and taken away. Coming up with the steal there for Fort Walton Beach is Tamia Cooper. They head to Marissa Brown, and she'll take it and score it. So after a 5-0 Pine Forest start, it's a 5-4 Pine Forest lead here. We played just over 2 minutes.
Well, after the way these two played each other back on December 17th, I don't think you expect anything any different.
Yeah, they're going for Lucky inside, but Shearer read that one all the way, and he'll take it coast to coast. Rebound pulled down by Pine Forest. It'll be a jump ball alternate possession belongs to Fort Walton Beach, so keep it at that end of the court. That was Aisha Stokes Harris coming down with a rebound for Pine Forest and getting tied up.
Yeah, Stokes come out. Robinson goes in for Pine Forest.
Block inside and a foul inside. That looks like it's going to be called on 33 to Yana Robinson for Pine Forest. So that's her first.
See Saoli at the line.
Saoli, 42% from the line this year. Free throw shooting a problem for both of these teams this year.
Well, you talk about free throw problems. I remember back in my days, 42% would have been nice.
Yeah, she gets 1 out of 2. We're all tied at 5. Pine Forest scored the first 5 and 5 straight for Fort Walton Beach now as they stay in that 1-3-1 zone. Marissa Brown at about 6'1" at the top of the zone. That three-pointer on the way, rebound batted and finally controlled by the Vikings. And that's Tamia Cooper bringing it out of the backcourt. Now looking for an outlet. Tied up. That was trouble from the get-go as soon as she picked up the dribble. Pull up, rebound comes off to Marissa Brown on the miss by Janiah Perry. Gets back nicely on defense and a great steal by Purifoy. She'll come out with it. And the defense back. She'll get back and get it down to Danielle Lucky. And nice move.
Yeah, great job by Little Mama Purifoy getting the ball down low to her big post player and Lucky does the rest.
Inside, there's Shearer kicking it back out to Cooper. And Shearer kept her, rather, that's a Saoli keeping the rebound alive, but it'll go off her hand to Pine Forest. Starting lineup, Smith Family Carpet starting lineups for tonight's game. For Fort Walton Beach, Paris Smith, Marissa Brown, Tamia Cooper, Samantha Shearer, and Madison Saoli. Meanwhile, for Pine Forest, it is Aisha Stokes, Tanija Little Mama Purifoy, Makavia House, Danielle Lucky, and Janiah Perry. We've also seen Gianna Robinson, 33, and their three-pointer on the way is good.
Janiah Perry with the 3.
That's a couple of three-pointers that Pine Forest has already hit. Again, a 5-point lead. Drive and going to the line will be Marissa Brown as she draws the foul.
Lucky with the foul.
Lucky's foul.
That's her first early on in this ball game. Well, I like the way Pine Forest is shooting. I'm not going to lie to you. And for Fort Walton, they're getting open. They're getting looks down low. They've got to find ways to be able to get some of these buckets to go down.
Well, that's their advantage is the offense inside Marissa Brown. I tell you what, they have her as a third. And now, granted, we've only played 9 games, so it's a small sample size. But she's a 38% free throw shooter on the year. That did not look like a 38% free throw.
Oh,
1 out of 2.
Great rebound, right? Tanaya Robinson.
We will take a timeout in the next dead ball. Hand on it, Marissa Brown, and she'll go with it. She comes up with the steal and the basket at the other end. And again, it's down to a 2-point game at 10-8 with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Lucky. Rebound comes off to Shearer, and she'll come out with it. They love the high-low game, and they give it to Shearer. She was cut off, though, nicely by Purifoy. Short jumper by Saoli, rebounded by Robinson. Lucky inside has position. Can't get it to go, though, and the rebound pulled off by Sayuli. And here come the Vikings running. Paris Smith throws it behind. She had... The man throws away. All right, we'll take a break here. It's 2:18 to go first quarter. Pine Forest with a 2-point lead here on Hill Kelly High School Hoops. All right, Whipstone Barnett, attorneys at law, fan cam. Fort Walton Beach Stars, and
great turnout.
50% capacity is what they're allowing here in the game tonight.
Well, they got it.
Maybe then, yeah.
It's a great crowd here tonight.
It really is. 2-point game. Pine Forest with the lead. Fort Walton has another steal by Marissa Brown.
Splits the defenders and throws.
It's her 7th point, and she ties it again.
Great job of anticipation right there, trying to go the cross-court pass. Not going to happen.
It's 6'1" at the top of that zone. Yeah, she creates all sorts of problems. Lucky's pass was deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with Pine Forest. 1:43 to play first quarter. We're all tied up at 10.
Mercedes Claiborne's got something going with her. 6'1" at the top. That's a smart coaching move right there.
Inside, force and out of bounds. It'll stay with Pine Forest. Lucky tried to force it up over Sayuli, who held her ground. Nice defense inside by Sayuli. 10-10, Pine Forest and Fort Walton. Another deflection by Shearer. That one's out of bounds. The score you see there is incorrect. Fort Walton Beach has 10.
Tell you what, going to be interesting. Pine Forest, wants to shoot that 3 ball, and right on cue. How about that?
And rebound chased down by Shearer, but beating her to it was, I believe that was Perry, and they end up getting it to McCavia House. Can't get it to go. Paris Smith defensively applying the pressure. Rebound to Marissa Brown as she draws the foul on Aisha Stokes. It's a 3rd foul on Pine Forest. The Vikings have not been whistled for a foul yet. 1:26 to go. Fort Walton Beach with a chance to take their first lead.
Yeah, back and forth. Just like we said the last game. No surprise right here.
Pine Forest in the man and driving and can't get it to go was Cooper. And the rebound pulled down by the Eagles. That was Stokes with the defensive pressure and the rebound. Almost a steal. Cooper, really good defensive player. There's a travel is, again, cutting off the passing lane and inducing the turnover.
It's just great anticipation on the defense. They're playing amazing right now. You obviously Pine Forest wanted to try to catch them off guard, maybe find an open lady over there. Not going to happen. Fort Walton's doing a great job so far.
Pine Forest, or rather Fort Walton again with a chance to take the lead. In a 10-10 tie, that ball went off Purifoy's foot and out of bounds. Shearer might have had a flashback. Shearer had, in the first meeting, they had a stop in the final seconds. Shearer had the rebound, was trying to dribble it out, dribbled it off her foot out of bounds, and it gave Pine Forest one more chance with 5 seconds to go, which Purifoy converted. Shearer really kind of felt that she had let the team down. Pine Forest gets the steal and the basket by McCavia House.
And did it all herself. Got the steal, took it coast to coast, and there you go. Another turnover, pass deflected.
14 seconds to go. Blocking foul on Sayuli. Our officiating crew comes from the Emerald Coast Officials Association. That there is Caleb Donahue, one of the umpires. Troy Donafro is our referee. Caleb Donahue and Chris Taylor, the 2 umpires. Pine Forest trying to take a 4-point lead after 1. Final 10 seconds of the quarter. Purifoy. Next shot on the way is off the mark by Perry. We played 8 minutes, and we've got a good one, just about what we expected. Pine Forest with a 2-point lead, 12-10 here on Hill Kelly High School Hoops.
Work so hard just to make this show. Under the lights, it's time to shine. Get your game face on, 'cause 'cause this is the big time.
Marissa Brown led all scorers with 7 points for Fort Walton Beach. She had 7 of their 10. Leading the way for Pine Forest, Danielle Lucky had 4 of their 12. Pine Forest leading by 2, 12-10. That should read. Here as we enter the second quarter. Ball inside, knocked away nicely, but then recovered and then lost out of bounds by Pine Forest. Inside, Sayuli and Shearer knocked the ball loose. Went out of bounds, but it went out of bounds off an Eagle. So, Vikings with the ball and a chance to tie the game again. They have not held the lead. We had 2 ties in that first quarter. Pine Forest had the big lead of 5. They had it twice, and Shearer can't get it to go. The rebound yanked down by Lucky. McCavia House, number 21. That's Purifoy 10. Lucky swinging around to the right wing. Nice ball movement inside, and Stokes couldn't finish it off. But she recovers and ties it up, so that ball should stay with Pine Forest. Check that. It will be the Vikings ball, yep. But lost track of one, Jeff.
I was with you. I thought it was going to be Pine Forest as well.
I lost track of the one at the start of the quarter is what it was.
There we go. And no harm, no foul. Ooh.
Shearer off the high post. They want to enter it there. Now Shearer shovels it inside to Sayuli. Rushed the shot. She didn't have to. Great play by Shearer, but Sayuli couldn't finish. Purifoy for 3. That's off the mark, followed by Perry, and the rebound comes off to Sayuli, and she's fouled.
Be Aisha Stokes.
It'll be Aisha Stokes.
CRP and Heating and Air Conditioning instant replay. Grabs that arm right there.
Yeah, that was one of the easier,
Yeah.
one of the easier foul calls of the night.
Tell you what, Fort Walton is not making it easy down low for Pine Forest. But I tell you what, for Fort Walton, they've got, I've said this earlier, they've got to capitalize on some of these open looks down low. That's the difference in the ball game right now.
Into the ball game for Fort Walton Beach is Josiah Jarbo Alford. We're at 21. She replaced Tamia Cooper. That's Paris Smith. Now going down low. And Brown had the hot hand, but can't convert that one. She had a good look. Nice ball movement again, and Lucky gets the assist on the pass inside to Robinson. Tiana Robinson.
Great ball movement right there. Does not get any better than that.
And the steal, and going to the line. Marissa Brown commits the foul. And going to the line will be Macavia House, 21. Macavia Brown, House. Pretty good shooter. She's hit 5 of 11 from 3. And a timeout. And we'll keep it right here. This is a 30-second timeout as the Vikings call the timeout. Neither of these basketball teams is very deep. Pine Forest had the great misfortune of Tanaya Barnes-Malish, one of their starters, went out for the year with a torn ACL in the first game of the year against McGill-Toole. And she was a huge factor on this team, which was hit by graduation. Carly Santiago graduated off last year's team. Destiny Ladd, who wasn't a starter but very valuable, she graduated as well. So and Jadasha Young, who did a little bit of everything and a lot of most for them last year. So they were hit by graduation, and then they lost Tanaya Barnes the first game of the year. So Pine Forest is not a deep team, and Fort Walton Beach is a young team and not a particularly deep team. They go about 8 deep, really. So foul trouble could really be a factor.
Both are just so extremely talented. You see the pedigree in both these squads tonight. They may be not deep, but they're starters. Well, they're the real deal.
Macavia House, that's the first trip to the free throw line by the Eagles. Pensacola Energy free throw. House will try to convert the second. She's hit 5 of 11 threes. Hits 1 out of 2 free throws. And once again, the lead is up to 5. That matches their biggest lead. It's the third time they've held a 5-point lead. Down low and stolen nicely. They tried to get the pass into Marissa Brown, but Lucky came up with the steal. Robinson, Purifoy. Brown knocks it out of bounds off Purifoy, who I think wanted a foul call over there. Brown aggressive at the top of that zone.
Well, you got 6'1" Brown taking on 5' Lil Mama Purifoy right there, so I'm surprised she didn't get the call.
That's Purifoy, and House now goes through the zone. Pine Forest really patient against the zone. I think they would much rather play against a man, because Purifoy can pretty much dribble around anyone guarding her. But this zone's taking the good looks from 3 away. But Pine Forest doing a great job on the offensive boards. And that one is chased down, and Josiah Jarbo Alford loses it out of bounds. It'll stay with Pine Forest as she could not corral the rebound. So again, another second and third chance opportunity for Pine Forest, leading by 5.
What you're seeing, Pine Forest trying to work that ball down low, getting some open looks outside. We'll see if they can start hitting outside the three-point stripe.
On the inbound play, three-pointer on the way. Rebound comes off. Can't be controlled. Pine Forest goes out of bounds to the Vikings. But again, Pine Forest almost came up with yet another offensive rebound.
(15-10) ball game here. 4:50 left. Second period.
Down low. Again, Brown. Nice spin move on Lucky and draws the foul. Well, it's been the Marissa Brown show for Fort Walton Beach here in the early going. Shearer hasn't gotten going yet, who is their leading scorer.
Foul be on Danielle Lucky. That'll be her second tonight.
Shearer comes over and you see Mercedes Claiborne, the first-year coach for Fort Walton Beach, chatting with her star junior. And Brown can't finish that free throw.
A lot of empty opportunities left on the board here for Fort Walton.
2 for 5 from the line here in the early going. Both teams struggle from the line. So it's still a 5-point Pine Forest lead. Purifoy's open for 3 and overshoots it. Chased down by Robinson, though. To House, and now throwing it up is Perry. That won't go. Sayuli with a rebound gets it to Marissa Brown. And stolen by Purifoy. You could almost see that one coming. And she'll go to the line.
I believe Shearer's got the foul right there for Walton.
Absolutely. Well, Purifoy goes to the free throw line. Purifoy is a good free throw shooter, terrific free throw shooter at 82%. We were going through the stats for Chris Godwin said, well, you've got my little mama's 82%, Aisha Stokes is 70%. Everyone else is under 50%.
Oh, tell you what, 80%. That's unheard of, just about.
82. She gets 1 out of 2, so a rare miss. And finally, loose ball ends up in the hands of Sam Shearer. And ahead, and can't get it to go again. Purifoy has it stripped by Shearer. Now she's got a one-on-one.
Got to drive the hoop.
Oh, and she'll go to the line.
Boy, that was interesting. I'm not sure. See our Pete hanging against it. Yeah, I don't know. That's.
Yep.
I get why Lil Mama's upset. I could see that.
So Sam Shearer goes to the line. And she's not a bad free throw shooter, 67%. And again, when you've played as few games, 9 games, as Fort Walton has, you may not have a great sample size.
Right. All it takes is one bad night. So 2 free throws from Shearer.
She's got 4 points now. It's 15 to 12. Halfway through the second quarter. Purifoy was setting up in the corner against this, not really a 2-3 zone. You play 1-3-1 and 2-3. Ball deflected inside by Shearer. The Pine Forest keeps it alive, and now Fort Walton comes out with it. Shearer, after Sayuli had come up with a loose ball.
Yeah, Sayuli got a partial block right there. Great job down low.
Marissa Brown gets it back, gets it inside Sayuli, and her pass to Paris Smith. Great ball movement, and the Vikings cut it to 1.
That's what we've been waiting on right there. There's been open opportunities down low, but Fort Walton Beach has not been able to capitalize. Great job right there.
Oh, down low, all she had to do is turn around, and Robinson, and a foul called on Paris Smith, I believe. Mercedes Claiborne up off the Viking bench. And it will be Paris Smith called for the foul, her first. And a little shove there. Macavia House goes to the floor. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout with them. 2:52 to go second quarter. Pine Forest leads Fort Walton 16-14 here on Hill Kelly High School Hoops.
You're watching Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram High School Hoops, presented by New South Window Solutions.
All right, 2:52 to play second quarter. Pine Forest clinging to a 2-point lead. They have led throughout. Fort Walton Beach has tied it twice at 5 and at 10, but the Vikings have never led. They've had chances. And an offensive foul. Robinson picks up her second foul. Tayana Robinson. So the Vikings once again against some full court pressure at Purifoy. Kind of a one-man press. Cooper, and there she goes. Coming up with it. You saw that one coming too. That's 2 steals you saw developing. And Purifoy. Man, I thought she made that for a second.
I had the same look you did.
Sam Shearer lays it up and in.
There you go.
And her 6th point ties the game at 16.
Well, Fort Walton taking that height advantage and starting to use it a little bit. Now we're starting to see them make some buckets. So, hey, could leave an opportunity outside the stripe.
Nice drive by Perry. Loses the handle. She wanted a foul. Shearer comes out with it and gets it to Cooper. And she will back it up under some duress.
Boy, Pine Forest is relentless.
Yeah, they are, and they throw it away. That's good defensive pressure by Pine Forest, forcing the turnover. Cooper really didn't have anywhere to go. Tried to force it to Smith, but she really had nowhere else to go with it.
You better not give up your dribble against this Pine Forest defense, because they will swarm you.
Not 30 feet out, you shouldn't. Minute 45 to play in the first half of a good one. We're all tied up at 16. The scoring total would seem to benefit Pine Forest, who'd rather have, I think, a little bit of a low-scoring game. Fort Walton Beach averages in the mid-50s. Three-pointer off the mark, and Brown with the rebound. Here comes Marissa Brown. I haven't heard from her in a while. She did so much damage early. Nice pass to Sayuli.
Great assist right there from Brown to Sayuli.
It's an 8-0 run, and Fort Walton Beach has their first lead at 18-16.
1 minute left.
House had the three-point look if she wanted it. The ball knocked loose. Great effort defensively by Shearer, and eventually they come up with a loose ball, and then Purifoy knocks it off. The Viking out of bounds, knocked it off Cooper and out of bounds. Great play by the 5-footer Purifoy. The Mercedes Claiborne
She's getting hot. She's saying it went off her head. What are you doing?
All right, 41 seconds to go now in the half. See if Pine Forest tries to hang on to it. I don't think they will. There's a foul by Sayuli. And, you know, when you're one of the inside players who figures to get a few fouls inside, you don't want to pick up one of your 20 feet out on
you do
Purifoy.
not. That's Sayuli's second, too.
Yep.
They're going to need her in the second half.
Pine Forest with 30 seconds to go now. See how quickly Purifoy tries to get it going. First opportunity, she takes it. That's Purifoy, 6th point, and Pine Forest ties it at 18.
Got to travel.
And forcing the turnover with the final 45 seconds of this half. Have a chance to be really productive for Pine Forest.
Interested to see if Purifoy just takes over here with less than 12 seconds left.
She crosses the timeline with 11. Probably a pretty good bet. Great dish inside. Great assist by Purifoy, and the basket by Robinson. Fort Walton Beach bench is up in arms. They thought that she double dribbled on the penetration, but the basket belongs to the Eagles, and they have the lead at the half, 20-18. A very entertaining, although low scoring, first half of basketball. Pine Forest leads by 2 here at the half on Hill Kelly High School Hoops.
Shine, get your game face on, 'cause this is the big time. This is the big time.
Chrysler Jeep Ram High School Hoops, presented by New South Window Solutions.
Halftime here at Fort Walton Beach High School. Pine Forest leading 20-18. Pine Forest leading by as many as 5. They had a 5-point lead on 3 different occasions in that first half. 5-0, 10-5. And again at 15-10. Fort Walton Beach had a late 8-0 run to take their only lead at 18-16. Pine Forest scored the final 2 buckets to take the 2-point lead at the half. So it is Pine Forest leading by 2 at the half. Northwest Florida State College Community Spotlight. These 2 teams ranking in the top 5 in the state. Number 2, Pine Forest. Number 5, Fort Walton Beach. And if you look at the top 10 in the state, it basically looks like a Final Four from the last few years. American Heritage, the defending state champion, going for their 4th straight state championship, is number 1 in the state. Then Pine Forest, Palm Bay, Norland, and Fort Walton Beach is ranked 5th. Choctaw, right across town, is ranked 7th in the state. More from halftime as we return to Fort Walton Beach. Pine Forest leading it by 2.
We're watching Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram High School Hoops, presented by New South Window Solutions.
All right, Pine Forest leading by 2 at the half. They've led most of the first half. Pensacola State College halftime report from Fort Walton Beach, where the Pine Forest Eagles lead at 20-18, led by 5. The lone lead for Fort Walton Beach came late in the second quarter, 18-16, after an 8-0 run by the Vikings. Really doing it defensively, forcing some turnovers and converting them, and finally converting some opportunities inside. Jeff, it was
That's the key for Fort Walton Beach. They've had their open looks down low, but they have not been able to capitalize. And for Pine Forest, they just do not give up that lead. You look at Lil Mama Purifoy coming in there, making some big shots, a big pass down low, the assist right there pretty much at the buzzer. So I tell you what, this game has been as good as advertised for 2 of the top 5 teams in the state.
And as we mentioned, Chris Godwin said for Pine Forest that we really need to do it at the defensive end to try to keep them. And they did. They held them 10 points below their average in the first meeting and won the game by 2. And this is well below average now, 20-18 on a 36-point pace or thereabouts. So Pine Forest is getting done what they wanted to get done here in the first half. More from halftime coming up from Fort Walton Beach. Pine Forest leading it 20-18.
You're watching Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram High School Hoops, presented by New South Window Solutions.
All right, the Pensacola State College halftime report here from Fort Walton Beach. Pine Forest is back on the court, still waiting for the Vikings to come back after the second half. Pine Forest leading at 20-18. Little Mama Purifoy leads the way with 6 points for Pine Forest. They have balanced scoring. Danielle Lucky with 4. Tiana Robinson also with 4. Macavia House and Janiyah Perry each with 3. Meanwhile, for Fort Walton Beach, Marissa Brown leads all scorers with 7. Sam Shearer has 6. Madison Sayoli with 3. And Paris Smith with 2 for their total of 18 points. Again, the lower scoring game would seem to be more along the blueprint that Pine Forest Chris Godwin drew up for this game. Defense has been really the prevailing factor in the first half of this game. Second half coming up here from Fort Walton Beach. There you see the baseline jumper from Danielle Lucky early, and Janiyah Perry with the three, and then Marissa Brown, as we mentioned, she was the key in the early going, keeping the Vikings in it defensively, and also with her 7 points. All right, we'll be back with the second half right after this. And now we're getting ready. Pine Forest will inbound the ball and move from left to right here in the second half of play. Two really proud programs. Pine Forest won the state championship back in 2015. Fort Walton Beach has won a couple of state championships. Kevin Craig coaching them to championships in 94 and 99. Holly McDaniel, now the athletic director, and we know she's watching. Holly unable to be here tonight. We know she's watching. And inside, Pine Forest gets the basket. Lucky gets the basket. And she starts the second half the way she started the first half with a basket. And Marissa Brown, who had the big start, takes it to the hoop. Shearer needs to go up with it. She'll throw it in the backcourt. Was it deflected, though? It was not. That's a turnover.
But once again, there you go for Fort Walton Beach. We talked about it at half. Obviously, they have some opportunities down low. You see Marissa Brown. They've got to get her going down there. I mean, they really do. Shearer's done a great job, but Marissa Brown leading all scores for Fort Walton with 7. They cannot miss those opportunities because Pine Forest will slowly start to pull away.
Sometimes not so slowly.
That's very true.
Pine Forest is capable of scoring in some bunches. They don't have quite the balance and offense they had a year ago, especially with Tania Barnes' injury. But I tell you, little Mama Purifoy can get a bunch of points in a hurry. There she is looking at the three. A lot of patience against the zone. There's a three-pointer on the way. And inside, and I cannot convert on the offensive boards. Was that Stokes inside? It was.
It was.
Boy, she had a chance.
Wide open. It doesn't get any better than that for Stokes down low. And, boy, I guess the old say it's too open. I don't know.
And the Peden Heating and Air replay, you saw that really a foul of frustration by Stokes. It's also her third foul, so she has to come out. Played just over a minute here in the second half. So where does Fort Walton go for the offense? Shearer had just the 6 points in the first half. Nice move. There's your answer. That's a pretty good choice. 9 points now for Marissa Brown, a 6'1" junior. She's just short of her average of 11. Pass inside to Robinson, and that pass, Brown read that one as Robinson tried to find Lucky. And stepping on the sideline, she tried to draw a foul on House, I believe that was.
It was.
Macavia House didn't get the whistle. Instead, she stepped on the sideline. So House, nice defensive pressure, forces the turnover.
Got to do a better acting job than that. Got to get it done.
Nice pass to Lucky from Purifoy. Lucky stays with it. Robinson blocked it by Smith. Purifoy thought about the three and then took a step. I think she should have just let it go.
Yes, absolutely. Let it fly, little mama.
You know, when Pine Forest won the first meeting with Fort Walton Beach, 46-44, it was the first time Fort Walton's been held under 55 points all year. And Shearer
for 2.
That was a two-pointer.
That'll give her 8 for the night. Yeah, I think they're well under the average tonight.
Yeah. But when you're capable of scoring that much, you're wondering if Pine Forest not having the opportunities that we talked about. Fort Walton Beach not cashing in their opportunities early. Well, the Eagles have had their chances and not cashed in, and you just kind of wonder, as good a defense as Pine Forest plays, whether Fort Walton Beach might get another little run in them.
Absolutely.
They had one in the first half. Brown gets it inside to Smith, and she stepped on the baseline.
Boy, once again, Pine Forest just suffocating you. If you hold the ball for longer than a second or so, boy, you better look out. The cavalry's coming. That has been their MO all night long. They may not have the size as other teams, but they are going to get you with that speed.
We're all tied up at 22, that scoreboard should read. 22-22. 5 ties in this game. Here's a three-point try. That's off the mark by Perry. And here come the Vikings once again with a chance to take just their second lead of the game. And again, Pine Forest pressure defense out at midcourt. Double team out there. Cooper hounded by House and finally stolen away. And going coast to coast and scoring is Perry. Janiah Perry with the steal. So again, an opportunity for Fort Walton Beach to take the lead. And again, Pine Forest converts a turnover into a quick basket.
Yeah, Pine Forest baits you on defense. They want you to do that pass right there. Great job once again.
And a timeout called by Fort Walton Beach. We're halfway through the third quarter. Mercedes Claiborne doesn't like what she sees. She calls a timeout. We'll take a break with them. Pine Forest leads it 24-22 on Hill Kelly High School Hoops.
You're watching Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram High School Hoops, presented by New South Window Solutions.
Pine Forest, or rather Fort Walton Beach inbounding it, trailing by 2. 4 minutes to go here in the third. I don't know what Mercedes Claiborne saw. I'm sure she didn't like the way they're handling the pressure that Pine Forest was exerting defensively. There's Marissa Brown back out front now, and backing it up is Paris Smith. Sayuli away from the basket, throws it away. That was Janiah Perry with the steal.
Once again.
A nice pass inside by Purifoy, but can't get the basket out of it. He's lucky couldn't get it to go. So here come the Vikings. Paris Smith loses it out of bounds. Up off the Fort Walton bench, Piper Snowden will check into the game, I believe, for the first time.
Yeah, that'll be her first time tonight.
Turn around, rebound pulled off by Paris Smith. Sam Shearer rattles in and out. Offensive rebound corralled finally. Corralled by Robinson. Nice job. Purifoy, she might go.
Oh, almost.
Rebound by Marissa Brown. And now she needs some help.
Uh-oh.
And she gets it. Shearer.
Great job.
She's in double figures with 10. And we're all tied up again. Our 6th tie at 24. 2:20 to play in the third. Two teams have been as close throughout as we have had anticipated. Purifoy, long three.
Oh, how about it?
I'll see your 2 and I'll spot your 3. Knocked out of bounds by Robinson. Tiana Robinson's given him some good minutes defensively.
Absolutely.
Or was that Robinson, or was yeah, that was Robinson. But for a second, it might have been Perry.
As Paris Smith checks out, like you had said earlier, Piper Snowden checks into the ball game.
Shearer out front. There's Jarbo Alford hits a 2-pointer. Foot was on the line.
Well, that's big when you can get that off your bench. Big time. Kickball.
I believe it should be 27-26. They have 20. Yeah, they just corrected the scoreboard here. They thought it was a 3, but the official Chris Taylor clearly signaled 2-pointer. Her foot was on the line, so it's still a 1-point Pine Forest lead. Minute 42 to go, though. Yeah, that's a big basket to get from Josiah Jarbo Alford. her first points. House out front now, running the point a little bit, taking a little load off the little mama. Lucky. Contact inside, and Lucky loses it, and Shearer had the ball lost and out of bounds. Macavia House got back defensively and couldn't keep it in bounds. But she did break up the layup.
She did, but I tell you what, sure, if you're ever indecisive like that, just take it to the hoop.
Inbounds off Snowden's hands and out of bounds, but it'll stay with the Vikings. The Vikings again could take the lead. It would be just their second lead. They led 18-16 late in the second quarter. That's the only lead they've held. Shearer. Rebound comes off two.
Boy, the way this has gone, the scoreboard doesn't tell the whole story. It feels like Pine Forest is up big.
Yep.
The Vikes won't go away.
Traveling on the wing as Perry took the extra step trying to drive. I think she might have been surprised when she looked towards the baseline and saw the opportunity she had. And now Vikings need some help.
Under a minute here.
Snowden had nobody to throw it to, and she's holding on to the ball. The 5-second count was going. Final minute of the third quarter. Shearer working against the man-to-man, now a double team. Jarbo Alford, that was for three. Rebound, Brown runs it down. Marissa Brown gets it back out front. Samantha Shearer, that's off the mark. House ahead, nice look, and converting. That's Stokes. 29-26. You know, we've talked about the Vikings' opportunities they've had, especially when they're within one or two, chance to take the lead, but Pine Forest has done such a look at the collision there. Ooh.
Goodness gracious. Sure jumped in there with two other Eagles. Boy, get a replay on that one right there. That was rough.
That's Aisha Stokes Harris got the worst of that.
Here it is.
Ooh, man. Ooh. Ooh. She's holding, I think her either left ankle, left knee was. Got caught underneath that collision.
Little Mama Purifoy right there, acting like a trainer. There you go. Well, that is not a good look.
No. Well, we're that's the Andrews Institute trainer here taking a look, and I think it's the ankle or the knee. I'm not sure if they're looking at. I think she's looking at the knee. I got that underneath. She's checking all that out. That is Aisha Stokes Harris, who suffered the injury. There you go. And checking on the knee. She went down and the leg was bent awkwardly underneath her as Shearer came down after the collision of the three players. And that was my big concern, was either the ankle getting caught underneath or the knee, and that's what they're checking right now. And obviously you see the expression of great concern on Chris Godwin's face. Although I think if she, the last movement right there where they actually moved her knee, if a trainer feels that she really has a serious knee injury at that point, you're not doing that. But she's making her way to the bench, Aisha Stokes.
She is able to put weight on it. That's always a good sign.
Yep.
Now, whether she can come back in this ball game or not is beside the point. The fact that she can get up and walk, that's awesome.
That's a good sign. But as usual, we don't diagnose from here.
No. I don't diagnose at all.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't diagnose if we were closer, but that's
I've learned to not do that.
No. Ooh.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so.
Well, you know, if she could, she'd be in there in a heartbeat.
Yep.
The squad is a very, very close-knit group.
So with 9.4 seconds to go, Pine Forest will inbound the ball, but they lose Aisha Stokes, her senior. Of course, they also lost another senior, Tanaya Barnes, who had a knee injury at the very first game of the year. So we certainly hope Aisha's back able to play sooner rather than later. Okay, Purifoy with 2 seconds to go launches a long three and it'll come up short. So we played 3 quarters here at Fort Walton Beach. Pine Forest leading Fort Walton Beach 29-26 on Hill Kelly High School hoops.
You're watching Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram High School Hoops, presented by New South Window Solutions.
All right, we have 8 minutes to play here in Fort Walton Beach, where the Vikings and the Pine Forest Eagles have a good one going. Neither team is led by more than 5. Pine Forest held that 5-point lead on 3 different occasions, and the margin is 3 as we go into the final 8 minutes of play. Fort Walton Beach starting the quarter with the ball. Shearer going to the high posts and almost coming up with a steal was Macavia House.
Well, here we go. Fourth period, you got one more opportunity for Fort Walton, down by 3. They've got to be able to capitalize on some big opportunities. A team that you talked about averages over 50 points a game. Not going to happen tonight.
Well, Shearer tosses it. It goes off the hand of Piper Snowden, out of bounds. So another turnover by Fort Walton Beach. You know, we've talked about Macavia House, and she was maybe the 7th, 8th player on a deep team last year. Came off the bench. She had to move into a starter's role this year. And she does a lot of the things that Jadacia Young did last year, and that's about as good a compliment as you can get. Jadacia Young was one of those players who at the end of the game, you're not even sure. All of a sudden, you realize all the things she had done. Well, Macavia House is doing a lot of that, including guarding Shearer, and she's done a heck of a job helping out on Shearer. The drive ball knocked loose, and the rebound chased down in the corner. It's House.
Wow.
How about that?
Right on cue. She heard you.
Oh, man, that's all it takes.
I mean, there you go. Doing the dirty work. That's something she does. Something that a lot of folks probably can't do, probably don't want to do. But a great job driving right there. She's not the biggest player at all.
No.
Did a great job.
Inside, that's Piper Snowden. She'll go to the line.
33.
6'1" junior. 7 juniors on this Fort Walton Beach team. 3 seniors. Sayuli, Jarbo Alford, and Tamia Cooper, the 3 seniors. Everybody else coming back.
And that'll be Robinson with the foul. That'll be her 3rd tonight.
Snowden can't get the free throw to go. 4 for 9 from the free throw line tonight for the Vikings. Pine Forest is 2 for 4.
Talked about it. Got to capitalize, and anytime you can get some free points here, cannot miss.
So 5-point Pine Forest lead, and they have the ball. 6:40 to go, and now Pine Forest will slow it down.
They've actually been pretty patient tonight on offense.
Well, the zone has something to do with that.
Absolutely.
And that's they kind of maybe rushed it a little bit early, and Marissa Brown came up with a lot of steals at the top of the zone, and maybe they learned a lesson. Of course, they've had the lead pretty much throughout the game, although they've never really they never led by more than 5. So
Yeah, they have not got comfortable tonight.
no. But they'll be patient against the zone now. This is what Fort Walton Beach plays. They'll play a man-to-man, and they will come out with a man-to-man right now if they have to. And down by 5 with just under 6 minutes to go, they have to. And that could benefit Pine Forest. And a foul, and going to the line should be Perry. And that foul is on Snowden. Snowden's first foul. Timeout, Pine Forest. So we'll take a timeout with them. It is a full timeout. 5:47 to play. Pine Forest leading by 5 here on Hill Kelly High School Hoops.
You're watching Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram High School Hoops, presented by New South Window Solutions.
Well, 5:47 to play, and it's a critical time for the Fort Walton Beach Vikings, ranked 5th in the state, 8-1, but being held well below their scoring average and well below the scoring total in the first meeting at Pine Forest. Inside, Danielle Lucky gets it to go on the inbound play. Biggest lead of the night for Pine Forest as they open up a 7-point lead.
And Lucky's got 8. Look at this.
That might have gone off Marissa Brown's hand. No, it'll stay with Fort Walton Beach. Lucky, yeah. 4 in the second half. So now critical time for Fort Walton Beach. They've had a lot of opportunities, as you pointed out. They cannot squander anymore.
Uh-oh.
Purifoy. And she'll probably back it up.
Yeah, very smart.
5.5, 7-point lead in this game. The way the defense has dictated this game, 7-point lead at this point seems monumental with just over 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, not out of hand, but it sure seems that way.
Perry on Jarbo, nice pass, but Robinson loses the handle, but picking it up over there is Makavia House again. It's not going to show up anywhere, but she's in the right spot, comes up with it, and gets it back out to Purifoy and reset.
Well, and ought to be said, too, she could have took that shot, but she understands the situation, so they want to go ahead and waste some more clock.
Nice steal, and coming out with it for the Vikings. That was Paris Smith. Nice play by Smith. Doesn't get the bounce. Rebound comes to the floor.
Wow. Sayoli just kind of looked at him.
Yeah, both of them did. I think House couldn't believe it. Timeout on the floor. Pine Forest takes the timeout. It is a full timeout. We can keep it here and let you know that we have a full slate. This is the first of 6 broadcasts on our Hill Kelly High School Hoops TV schedule this year. The rest of them, these are all boys games, will be at Choctaw Saturday night, PHS and Choctaw. They met a couple of times actually already, including in a holiday tournament. PHS was unbeaten and ranked number 1 in the state when they went into Choctaw, and Choctaw handled them that night. So 2 of the better teams in the area. Jay at Central. I am looking forward to seeing Central. And Jay's got a very good ball club. Central is terrific. They were ranked 2nd in the state earlier in the year. I hadn't checked it in the last couple of days. But so Central and Jay, that's on Friday the 15th. Then Pine Forest at Gulf Breeze. Looking forward to that one. Bloomberg at Gulf Breeze, one of the area's best players. Pine Forest, athletic as always. Navarre at Pace. That's 2 teams are much better this year, playing well. And then Washington, we get to go to Catholic again. It wouldn't be a full season unless we had Catholic and maybe a trip to Catholic. Washington at Catholic. Those are all boys games. Rest of our schedule here on Hill Kelly High School Hoops. But we got to finish up this one here. 4:20 to go. 7-point game in Fort Walton Beach. Really looking for a defensive stop, and that's a 5-second count, so they get the turnover. And the Vikings get the ball. Now, can they do something with it?
All right, well, you had to get a turnover. Check. Now you got to get some points. You got to get them in a hurry here. People look at it and say, well, you got 4 minutes left. Yes, but you know Pine Forest is going to take their time. So
ball deflected out of bounds by Lucky. Lucky, a post player, making a deflection out by the hash mark.
She can do it all.
Yep.
Tell you what, this Pine Forest squad, and pretty much all of them can do it all. It doesn't matter their size.
Sayuli to inbound it now for the Vikings. That's Cooper, hounded. Shearer, and there's a foul on Purifoy. And first she wanted to argue, then she said, yeah, I'm not going to argue.
That'll be Purifoy's second with CRP and heating and air conditioning instant replay. And yeah, a little slap on the wrist.
She
got her.
Yep, she knows it. I think it was probably just a reaction. Oh, man, I was so close.
She is so quick.
And, you know, it's funny. She doesn't, for being 5 feet tall, she doesn't look like she gets in many mismatches. I mean, she somehow neutralizes the size disadvantage, and you just don't really notice it that often, or at least people are not able to take advantage.
Well, it seems the taller you are, the tougher it is to cover her, because she can scoot around. She's got great ball handling skills, She's not afraid to drive the lane. I mean, and I tell you what, she's going to get the benefit of the doubt being 5 foot a lot of times when she drives, too.
And defensively, her hands are so quick. She
Oh, my
anticipates
goodness.
so well that she, bigger players are going to have trouble. She'll give them trouble, and she has. Final 4 minutes now inside the 4-minute mark. 7-point lead, and Pine Forest will back it up again, and Fort Walton has to come out. Janiah Perry, first guard off the bench for Pine Forest a year ago, now starting, and my little mama takes it, can't get it to go, but followed up, but not in. And the ball comes away to Shearer, and she'll go to the line. That was Paris Smith who came up with the loose ball inside, and Shearer will go to the line. She's fouled by Perry. Reached in, and
Perry's first tonight. But that's what Fort Walton Beach. They got to lean on Shearer and Brown right now. Those have been their 2 scores tonight. Boy, oh boy, it's been there you go. But it's been a lot of fun. Shearer, actually, you know what? I mean, she's a junior, but she's kind of taking the reins tonight, and that'll make it 11 points for her, going for her 12th.
Leading scorer for the Vikings. She averages 17 a game, 67% from the line this year, hits those 2, and boy, they needed them.
Yes, 5-point ball game.
Those are their first points since late in the 3rd quarter. Last time they scored, they pulled within 1 at 27-26, and
seems like forever ago.
yeah, the 6-0 run by Pine Forest was almost a game breaker in this tight defensive game, tough defensive game. Purifoy, 3 minutes to go now. Purifoy might be able to, and she draws a foul from Shearer. I was going to say she might be able to just dribble this thing out almost.
Pine Forest looks a little bit different, just slow it down the way they have been, though. You know they want to try to penetrate the zone, but with a man-to-man right there and go down low, but just trying to run some clock out.
Yep. And then when you get an opportunity, you take it if you want. Kick it back out. Macavia House there, and now back to Purifoy, and an offensive foul, illegal screen by House. Away from the ball across the court, but Fort Walton Beach needed a break, and they got one with 2.5 minutes to go.
And they've gotten a few here as of late. I mean, now it's a 5-point ball game, was a 7-point ball game, so let's see if they can take advantage.
House picking up in the backcourt. Paris Smith now takes it down the lane.
Ooh, I thought a little bit of a shove right there.
Sayuli inside. She will go to the line as she draws the foul from Robinson.
Robinson's 4th.
Sayuli, yeah, she definitely got a hand. I think if Robinson was complaining, I think she might have been complaining that she was fouled before she committed the foul on the rebound. That's what I hope she's complaining about.
Well, it looked like there's a little bit of a push-off.
Well, I
think that's probably what the Pine Forest Eagles were talking about. You heard the oohs in the crowd right there, but hey, no call.
Sayula misses the first free throw. She 0 for 2. Free throw shooting again. Hurting the Vikings here. They're now 6 for 14 from the line tonight. And reaching in, Paris Smith.
Number 2, Paris Smith for second.
And Pine Forest not in the bonus yet, so Pine Forest will inbound it. Paris Smith. Inbound it to Purifoy as we approach the 2-minute mark with a 5-point Pine Forest lead. They have led almost the entire game, but never by much. Never by more than the 7-point lead they had a moment ago. And now, it's kind of like basketball's version of a penalty kill. See if you can...
You got to take some chances if you're Fort Walton.
Ooh, that was a carry.
No, surely not. You got to go for the ball here.
Yeah, and they did, and sure. Well, you have an opportunity, especially when neither team is a particularly good free throw shooting team.
Exactly.
If you don't foul Purifoy, or you don't foul, Stokes is the only other free throw shooter on the team. She's out with the knee injury she suffered earlier in the half.
That'll be Shearer's third foul tonight.
Man, a minute and a half to go. I might be fouling anybody. They're all under 50%, with the exception of Purifoy.
I mean, if you're Pine Forest, keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
You're just working the clock. You got to go right there.
Marissa Brown.
Go get her.
Yep. Shearer, she's afraid to pick up her, what, fourth at this point?
Yeah, that'd be her fourth.
Although,
Somebody's got to do it.
well, this is one of the world's great penalty kills. And there you go. And they foul Purifoy. All those opportunities to foul anybody but
else.
and they foul Purifoy.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, it doesn't matter. They're not shooting yet anyway.
That's true.
Come to think of it. So, yep. Whoa, a little tightrope on the half-court line. The final minute, 5-point game, and Pine Forest is in. There's foul finally on Cooper, I believe. It is Tamia Cooper. 55.8 seconds to go, 5-point game, and timeout on the court. Full timeout taken by Pine Forest. So these two teams, you know, we were talking about the difficulties of these two teams in this season of COVID. You know, Chris Godwin said, you know, we have a team that really needed to have some playing time, and they've only got, I think they've got 16 games tops. I think it's what they have. And there you see the crowd gathered.
Wibstone Barnett fan cam right there.
Yep.
Been a great crowd tonight, too.
They just got, you know, there are about 4 or 5 opportunities for Fort Walton Beach to really get a big basket. Mercedes Claiborne there. I got to figure something out to come up with a steal, or you got to foul in a hurry now.
Yes.
A 5-point game. So she might be talking about pretty simple message on the defensive end. Go for a steal. If you don't get it, commit the foul. And then the rest of that timeout might have been taken on here's how we're going to do things on the offensive end. Chris Godwin, it took a Woodham team to the state Final Four. She'd been to the Final Four with Pine Forest 4 to 5 times, including a state runner-up last year, state runner-up back in 15 and 14 rather, state championship in 15.
Well, I think if you're Fort Walton here, you got to guard Lil Mama Purifoy and leave everybody else open and then go foul. That's the last person you want at the line, an opportunity to shoot. That's, oh my goodness. She is a fantastic free throw shooter, that is for sure. Now you see it.
And, you know, this is so critical. You know, a game like this is a high-profile game. She hits them both. So Purifoy in double figures with 11, and the lead is 7, matching the biggest lead of the night. And in the final minute,
Got to be quick. Got to work quick here.
and Brown will take it. Nice move. Stripped and out of bounds. Stays with the Vikings. 43.9. 43.9, correct.
Got to have an inbound play ready to shoot. I mean, a pass and shoot right here in the inbound. Has got to find a way. They can't waste too much more time.
No. She's got to step out. There she goes. Sayoli.
Great job.
There you go.
It's her 5th point tonight.
Yeah, they need to get the ball out of Purifoy's hands.
There
Now
we
foul. And that's what they're gonna do, I believe. Well, 20 seconds to go, and she comes up with a steal, but commits the foul. Well, Shearer,
It'll be her 4th.
what she thought on the heating and air. See, she went for the steal, and that part was clean, but the left hand is on the back.
She's had a heck of a game tonight.
So going to the free throw line will be Shania Perry.
She's got 5 points on the night.
Pine Forest's only shot 6 free throws so far tonight. 4 out of 6. Purifoy has 3 of them. 3 of 4. Okay, rebound and knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Vikings after the rebound by Sayuli.
Octavia House is just so smooth. She is so smooth, picking your pocket right there.
Coming to get it is Jarbo Alford, but boy, I tell you, knocking it out of bounds is Purifoy. Nothing's coming easily here in the last 20 seconds. It's a 5-point game. If somebody hits a 3, it gets interesting for 15 seconds.
Absolutely.
So,
Pine Forest is locking it down defensively right now.
Gotta
go.
Yeah, you can't wait around. Inside it goes to Paris Smith. She banks it in.
That's her 4th point tonight. Here we go. Somebody's got a foul. And wouldn't you know,
yep.
Purifoy. But what a game. No matter what happens, what an awesome game right here.
11 points for Purifoy. Again, a very low-scoring game. She has 11 of their 35. 3 out of 4 from the line. 3 out of 5. Sayuli.
Uh-oh.
Timeout. Was it a timeout called by Fort Walton Beach? Mercedes Claiborne didn't think so. I'm not sure what the discussion is about. Did you see that, Jeff? Because Mercedes Claiborne jumped up off the Fort Walton bench. She said, I didn't call it.
Yeah, I didn't see her call it. Boy, they had something, too. A 2-on-1 matchup.
Yep.
Down by 3.
It was kind of exactly what they needed.
Boy, oh boy, this is interesting.
I just got the tail end of that from the referee Troy Donifro explaining it to the scorer's table. That might have been an inadvertent whistle, I believe, because he said we're going to set it at 5 seconds and they'll inbound the ball to the sideline.
Oh.
Now, yeah, I know.
Well, you know what? Now you got an opportunity to tie it.
Yep.
Set up and get you a play going right here. You got 5 seconds and, well, got a chance to tie it up.
Man,
Wow.
about 40 seconds ago, this didn't look like
it
was
did
in the
not.
cards at all. So, if you look for your 3-point shooters, you got to look at Shearer as a possibility, probably Cooper as well, and maybe Marissa Brown or Paris Smith.
So you got a couple out there with the potential.
Yep. Well,
looks like Shearer is out.
Yeah, she is.
Shearer is out right here.
Jarbo Alford's in there. Yep. She can shoot it. Number 21. She is set up over here just in the foul line extended across the court from where Madison Sayuli will inbound at 5 seconds to go and a timeout. Timeout as Mercedes Claiborne takes a look at how Pine Forest was deployed defensively and says, all right, let's rethink this. And so Mercedes Claiborne, first-year head coach. I think she can devise something. She was a biology major at Florida Southern, was pre-med. She was, when she graduated from Florida Southern in 2019, she was going to go to med school, but she said, hey, I needed to make some money. So she called Holly McDaniel, who was her basketball coach here at Fort Walton Beach. And Holly said, well, we happen to have a biology teacher slot open. You want to come coach and see how you like it? And she did. She came in, was an assistant to Holly McDaniel last year, and then Holly became the athletic director here at Fort Walton Beach, got the promotion last summer, and Mercedes, basically her audition was taking over the program in July, and the players love her, they respect her, and she's a good fit to take over for Holly McDaniel. Boy, they had Kevin Craig, Holly McDaniel, and now Mercedes Claiborne. That's a pretty long-standing and rich line. Most teams, she steps into.
Most teams fight to try to get one of those.
Yeah.
For Walton, they've got 3. When you look, she's done a great job, and you can tell these girls are buying in. And 8-1, can't fault it. But here we go.
All right, somebody's got to hit a 3. Smith, that's off the mark, and the rebound comes off to Purifoy, and that's how it ends. 35-32 is the final. Pine Forest wins a thriller here at Fort Walton Beach. Vikings came up 2 points short in Pensacola on December 17th, and they came up 3 points short here on the home court. Pine Forest stays unbeaten, moving to 7-0, and Fort Walton falls to 8-2.
Boy, oh boy. I can't imagine Fort Walton would fall too much in the state rankings after a game like this against a highly touted Pine Forest squad.
All right, we'll be back to wrap it up on the post-game show. Present a trophy to Chris Godwin and the Pine Forest Eagles, who have come away from Fort Walton Beach with a 35-32 win. We'll be back.
Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram High School Hoops, presented by New South Window Solutions.
All right, we've had a nice season opener here. We're Pine Forest. We're second ranked and undefeated. Stayed undefeated with a 35-32 win over homestanding at fifth ranked Fort Walton Beach. Tonight, it wasn't quite the offensive show we might have seen, but a terrific defensive effort. We're joined by Chris Godwin, the head coach of the Pine Forest Eagles. And Chris, we knew going into it that there were lots of challenges that Fort Walton Beach was going to present. What did you feel best about how your team responded?
Their defense. And I think you said it. Offensively, it didn't go well for us tonight. Another injury. I mean, we just can't get rid of injuries and going down the bench. But I think defensively, our girls stepped it up tonight, because if it wasn't for that, it'd been I don't know if it had been a win or not, but they did a great job tremendously on the boards tonight, and just good job defensively.
Well, when I asked you before yesterday when we were talking about this, that's the first thing you said was, what's the key against them? And you go, our defensive effort. So obviously that was a focal point.
Can you say that again?
Yes, right. I said, when we were talking yesterday about this game, and I asked you really what your priorities were, and you didn't even miss a beat. You said the first thing was defense against this team, so that had to be a focal point then.
Oh, it definitely was, and we've been practicing that over the break. Like I said, we didn't get to play in any games. No tournaments or anything, so we were just having to go against each other, against old players who came back and played against us, and just preparing for a district game, which was tonight. So it was a big win for us, especially here over in Fort Walton. They did a great job, but like I said, offensively, we still got to go back to work on that. It just wasn't working for us tonight. But I'm so proud of these girls making the changes that they needed to make for the ones who have to step up. Like I told you before, people having to depend on them off the bench and becoming starters and being that first person off the bench. So I was proud of all of them tonight.
Well, Little Mama is our player of the game again with 11 points tonight, and just the floor leadership and everything that you get out of her on a daily basis. But we'd also talked about McKeevia House and some of the things that she does, which sort of reminded you a little bit of Jadaisha Young,
Exactly.
Just
and I
those
think
little
it showed
things.
that tonight as well. And she did that. And when she gets like that, and they just feed off of each other. But yes, definitely.
And do you have any idea how Aisha is? It was a left knee, it looked like. Was that right?
Yes, and it don't look real good right now. It's already swollen up, so we just take her to the doctor, see what's up. I mean, we're off for 9 days right now. We don't play again until next Thursday and Friday.
Right. Well, we will wish for the best for her for sure. And anything else that you take out of this game? A good matchup coming out of a long break and playing a team again. What did you take out of this that you look to carry forward?
Like I said, I'm just proud of my girls and what they're having to do, and the different players that have to step up, each night or each day, whenever we are called upon them. Ty Robinson tonight did that for us. I mean, she crashed the boards, and that's all I told her. All I need you to do is just play defense, and she did that. I'm not expecting her to do things that they're not, used to doing. So just them handling that and being young kids and doing what the coach is doing, and got 3 other coaches saying the same thing. It's tough, but I'm proud of them.
Well, it's a very good win against a good team on the road.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you.
All righty. We have a trophy to present to you, and a trophy for Little Mama as well, I believe.
There we go.
So there you go.
Do I tell her that?
Yeah, tell her she's our player of the game.
You are the player of the game. So here we go.
There you go. With some style, too. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate it.
You bet. Chris Godwin and the Pine Forest Eagles staying unbeaten with a 35-32 win over Fort Walton Beach. Okay, let's take a look at the play of the game that we had. It was 24-24. Fort Walton Beach had tied it, and Purifoy said, I'll take it from here. And there you go. Just over 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. That made it a 27-24 lead. and Pine Forest never surrendered the lead after that. So you want a basket where you take the lead for good, pretty good chance that Little Mama Purifoy hit it.
She did it all tonight. I mean, you talked about McCavey House, Danielle Lucky, the entire squad rallying around after the injury as well. This team is just so good. Once we talked about it, they're a close-knit group. You saw that tonight. Tell you what, good luck to anybody playing this group because they are just getting better and better.
Very good. All right, let's take a look at our schedule coming up. High school hoops on WFGX. Our next game, Jeff and I will be at Choctaw, coming back to Fort Walton Beach. Boys game, the Choctaw Indians take on Pensacola High. That'll be Saturday night at 7 o'clock is the scheduled tip for that. The following Friday at Central. Haven't been there in a few years, and they have a heck of a team. Looking forward to that, Jay and Central. Pine Forest visits Gulf Breeze on January 19th. Then we're going to Pace on the 22nd, of Friday, as they host Navarre. And we will wrap up our high school hoops schedule on WFGX on Tuesday, January 26th, Catholic at home to Washington. Well, for our entire crew here at WFGX at High School Hoops, Jeff, looking forward to a terrific season working with you.
Oh, it's going to be a great 2021. We're off to a great start.
Absolutely. Dan Shugart saying good night from Fort Walton Beach, where once again the final score, Pine Forest 35, Fort Walton Beach 32. Good night.
From